Hi, this is Bart Sharp, author of Magic Speaks. One of the things that living a magical life requires us to become is to come to terms with our ego. Now, the ego is very much a mind-driven mechanism, and it's very much the masculine aspects of how we hold our anger, our fears, our traumas, and how we react to those repressed memories of those things and create our lives from those things. In other words, and I work as a shaman and feel energetically into people's bodies, and what I see is that there's almost a line drawn energetically between the right side, which is masculine, the left side that's feminine. And so much of the repressed anger or fears are pushing out on the right side in maybe an aggressive or a controlling way, and also in a passive aggressive way, like living in fear, like, oh my God, I won't be able to do all of these things unless I protect myself from all of these things that I fear. So people are using bunches of energy to hold this fear-based, anger-based, passive-aggressive energies that they're afraid of, and protecting themselves against certain scenarios, certain people, and most of these things were created in their childhood and no longer exist in adulthood in a lot of ways. But of course they will attract people that are like their childhood figures, because that's what the unconscious does. It brings in what we've not resolved. So a big part of learning to be magical and having this flow of life move through you is dealing with our masculine issues. And that's a big part of it. Finding out how we can be at peace and harmony with all of what we've repressed. So when we do this, and the masculine relaxes, then the feminine gets to step in. And the feminine of this unconditional love, nurturing, spontaneity, and magical things happening seem to show up more readily. And the feminine starts to come in, and they start to have harmony with each other, because the feminine creates, the masculine also creates, but it does it more in solving problems and solutions. But the feminine creates in a much bigger perspective. And I'm not talking about male and female, we're talking masculine and feminine characteristics. And so women have to learn the same type of lessons that men do in this scheme. So the more that we learn how to resolve masculine issues, how to resolve repressed emotions, the feminine shows up. But the feminine also has its emotions. And one of the things that I always see with people, what they hold back, is their feminine becomes very quiet, because in most cases it wasn't allowed to express itself. It has a passion for life, or maybe even a fierce anger that it didn't get to express, and it became repressed, and it kind of shifted over to the masculine. And once the masculine moves away, then the feminine can show up, and this fierce anger that was once there gets to turn back into passion again. It gets to have excitement. It creates, it generates ideas, life forms of all different kinds, beyond babies, that is, of great ideas. And so the feminine comes alive. And when we have that balance between the two, this magical part starts to come inside of us. It's a connection to higher source. And it all just comes in. Source, masculine, feminine, harmony. And we just have this wonderful communion together with a greater self within us. And that is one of the most important parts of magic, is learning how to evolve in this balance. So this is Bart Sharp, author of Magic Speaks.